beautiful souls. I hope you're doing well. Today, in our creative intuitive transmission, I wished somehow I could have prevented any words because it is really the theme of this CIT. It has to do with the importance sometimes of the absence of words, the wordless, because this is often how the ego um, finds its comfort zone through words, many, many, many words, lots of noise. And so I wish I could have just telepathically offered this to you today, but still, these creative intuitive transmissions include words. So we're going to share them today, but I'll try to make this as short as possible and instead offer the high frequencies through the high vibration art and the atmosphere of the songs and music that are going to be shared with you today. So our high vibration art work that we created with Japanese washi or shiogami paper collages is called Laëltoni, Laëltoni. And we will examine or discuss the symbolism or iconography of this artwork a little bit later. First of all, I wanted to share with you the two pieces of music that were inspired to me today for this creative intuitive transmission. The first one is a piece of music, instrumental, by an Icelandic multi-instrumentalist producer named Ólafur Arnalds. I truly apologize, as always, for my pronunciation. I do not speak Icelandic as much as I would love to. One of my favorite places and languages, but I do not speak it. So I apologize for my pronunciation of Arnalds' first name and last name. Ólafur Arnalds created a beautiful album entitled "And They Have Escaped the Weight of Darkness," which in itself is incredibly inspiring in terms of titles. And the actual name of or title of the instrumental piece of music I'll be sharing with you today is Undan Hulu. Again, I don't know if that's how it's pronounced in Icelandic, but it's Undan Hulu. And Undan Hulu, when you translate it, means something like undercover, but not, like a espionage type of thing. It's more undercover in the sense of being sheltered, being protected, being sheltered. So there is this beautiful symbolism there of a sacred place that is sheltered, that is protected. And so I find that quite beautiful because it's not only it can be translated in music itself, which is absolutely beautiful, with a lot of cello and piano, and it's quite inspiring. And at the same time, it's, as much as it's high vibe, it is also quite melancholic in its tones and its choice of notes. But I feel that it's really important when we speak of high frequencies not to get mixed up with joy or happy. High frequencies, of course, more often than not, can be translated through laughter, through humor, through happiness, through joyful sentiments or emotions, because it's a kind of a direct, instinctive way of receiving high frequencies or grounding high frequencies. But also sometimes, a song or a piece of music that's extremely beautiful, but that's more melancholic, also can translate and ground and transmit high frequencies in a different kind of in a different way. It honors all the emotions that are within us, and not, emotions are not bad or good. They're what they are, and they give us the opportunity to express ourselves in terms of as humans of Terra, Terrahu, but also it's also what inspires us in what we do. So in today's song, Undan Hulu, there is a little bit of that sadness, or I wouldn't say sadness, I would say more melancholy, with notes in minor and the cello. But to me, it offers a vibration that reminds me of a calm rather than sad environment, a space of calmness, an island of gentleness, benevolence, protection, a kind of a buffer zone of sorts where one can find peaceful energies and inner peaceful energies. So that's complemented as well by the second piece of music, which unfortunately I was not able to find on Spotify. So I'm sharing the title I have here. It's called Gentle Rain in the Forest. It's instrumental, and it's from an album called Thunderstorm. But unfortunately, again, I was not able to find the exact reference, so I apologize for that. But the essence of this music really has to do with um, the fact that it's a music, sounds of nature, and it really is about gentle rain in the forest, and that's actually the title of the instrumental piece of it's not even music, it's just nature sounds, gentle rain in the forest. And so you can hear this very, very gentle rain on leaves, falling on leaves, and you hear in a very discreet way some birds in the background. And I find this very complementary to Undan Hulu, which is also a piece of music that's very peaceful. And both of these musics, to me, reminds me of what the Buddha was talking about when he was talking about that we all have within ourselves an island in our heart. It's metaphorical, obviously, but we have in our in the center of ourself an island of peace and calmness that we can always go to, which is basically consists of the essence of what we are as a fractal of source, source creator. And I often refer to something our dear Alex Collier has often mentioned, which has to do with hearing your own frequency. I very much resonate, without any puns intended, with that call to hearing our own frequency, because what often Alex says as well is that when we stop the noise, when we are able to go in a place of calmness, of without noise, without cell phones and all these things that make sure and program us to be in a constant move and constant noise and constant words, when we just take a time off of this and social media and things like that, we're able to go into that island of peace and benevolence and calmness where there's silence. And that is so precious, because this is the only place where we remember and where we can feel and hear our frequency, our own unique, beautiful, high vibration, high frequency that we are, but that's very unique. And each of us has a unique kind of imprint there. And all of this, I find, is nicely complemented by the background that was, again, inspired by the higher self and guidance, high vibration guidance here, which represents a beautiful pathway in the forest with this beautiful sunlight. There's calmness there. There's an invitation, I feel, from the guidance or from the higher self through this image that complements not only the sounds of the gentle rain in the forest, but also of the beautiful piece of music, that it is often by walking in nature, for example, and it's just an invitation. That's definitely not the only way in which we can connect with our own, hear and feel our own frequency, but often it is a very beautiful way in which we can enter nature in a place of calmness, of silence, and just be the observer in mindfulness and presence. And I feel this was kind of the message presented by this beautiful background here, which, resonates with high frequencies because of the sunlight that comes and just bathes everything in a calm and soft light. So uh, the message of today is quite simple, in the sense that the essence of it, through the music and through the artwork, but also through the background, is that we are invited to perhaps sometimes become wordless and stop the noise and stop or go into a place, or our inner island of peace and calmness, where we can feel our frequency, or feel our frequency, that unique high frequency that we are. We're gonna have a look at our artwork here, which is called Laëltoni, as I've said. And it's interesting that our artwork today was the papers that were chosen for this creation today are very black and white, and in a way they're busy in their motifs, but they inspire a message of being centered. So first of all, we have the black and white elements of the background, which normally this represents waves, but in a very stylized form, in the Japanese kind of symbolism. Often people associate them with, fish scales and things like that, but I think it's supposed to be more waves, but in a very, like I said, in a very stylistically different way. Anyway, the black and white for me in this sense and in this business invites us to find, and the white for me today in this artwork represents this space of stillness. So to find the stillness in the midst of the agitation of the busyness of life, the noise. The central circle, the large black with golden elements of it in the middle, remind me of the black would be, again, this darker element of the noise and the busyness and the exhaustion that comes from this constant noise we have in our lives. But then it's mitigated here by these dots of gold, to me, that, as always in my CITs, represent this element of source, creator source, being present there, here and there, as little spots of inspiration, to, even in the midst of the noise, to find creator source, or find this peaceful, beautiful high frequency of source scattered in the midst of the noise. Then we have this lower circle, which is golden, with the flower of life, which again, as always, represents for me a strong connection to source. And so we are invited here in the midst of this busyness and this noise to connect with this high frequency of source through our heart, which is symbolized by this smaller red circle, which represents our physical heart, but also the sacred wisdom of our hearts. And then we have this, in the upper part, we have this white circle with gold, silver waves, which I know that usually I use waves as a way of representing challenges. In this context, with the white background and the silver aspect of it, I found that it reminded me more of like a landscape of snow, somehow like those snow dunes or something. And you know how it is, I don't know, for people who live in the north probably know what I mean. When you walk into the gentle landscape of a snow-covered area, it's very calm. You can barely hear your footsteps, and the snow muffles the noise around, and it gives to the whole landscape this very calm and very gentle and very calming feeling, which to me in this artwork in CIT represents that island the Buddha talks about, of finding that inner island of peace and calmness and wordless and noiseless. And so this is how I illustrated this island that's floating in the middle It's not connected to the other thing. It's just floating. It's like our buffer zone that we can have that prevents us from being caught up in the drama, in the darkness, in the difficult things that are part of human incarnation and in the 3D. And then finally, not finally, but we also have this central motif of black and white, again, waves that to me, when I usually use this kind of rectangular band in my creations, usually it symbolizes how we're all, or we can all be, an antenna of the high frequencies of source that we can ground, translate, transmit on Terra. And so there is this invitation to be this antenna for these high frequencies and vibrations that that includes our sacred calm island or buffer zone, but also the challenges of life, but the connection to source and our heart. So it includes everything. And then finally, we have these two wings, as always, these two wings there that open towards the infinite in a blooming kind of gesture, which reminds us that in the midst of the difficulty and the challenges, which represented by the black motif or colors of the background, then these birds, which, they're perhaps not very evident, but the motif there with those two wings are birds, golden birds within them. And the golden birds symbolize, again, this opportunity to open our wings and fly and connect to this high frequency, this golden source-like beautiful frequency, that we're not trapped in the challenges. So this is how I personally try to transmit or translate iconographically the message from these two beautiful songs or pieces of music. I remind you that the name of the album from Ólafur Arnalds and the song Undan Hulu is "And They Have Escaped the Weight of Darkness," which is absolutely beautiful as a title. And it is illustrated in this collage through this darker circle from which the golden gives us the opportunity to come out of. And so this is how I interpret the CIT today. I will leave you here because I don't think it's a CIT that deserves a lot of talking. It's more about feeling the frequency of the music and the artwork. So I will now leave you with the music that will be playing, the two pieces of music that will be playing while you will see the artwork being created with Japanese washi shiogami paper collage. I want to say that this original artwork is available in my art shop, online art shop, as the original. And there is also the possibility to acquire a digital file of this artwork, which is also available on my art shop. So I will leave you here today with this invitation to go within, as always, to go within that sacred space, your inner island, your buffer zone, that space where it's wordless, noiseless, where you can hear and feel your own frequency. Take immense care of yourself. Much love your way. Bye.